Well, good afternoon, wherever you are, or good evening, or good morning. I just wanted to reach out to you guys today and let you know the difference between coaching your employees and, really, where are you at in that process? So, today I want to talk to you about being a leader that must also be a coach. So, you see, coaching your employees is very much part of your duty, your accountability to really make sure that you're a stand for them. And when you are leading a team, this is something that is utmost one of the most important things. See, the knowledge you can provide to your mentees will only help them perform better. And who doesn't want them to be able to perform better more than you? Maybe them, right? So we're only 1 month into the new year. So I really think this is a great time to really figure out how you will reach your objectives for the year. I want you to reach your objectives. That is my cause in the matter of this social promise that we've been doing since 2019. And also, how can you coach your team to reach their goals? See, everybody needs somebody in their life, a coach, a mentor, a parent. And that's what we're doing. We're doing that with each one of our employees, just like we would do with our own children or like our children did with us. And in some cases, hopefully, we're doing a better job. And maybe we're trying to be that parent like our parents were for us, right? And how can we emulate that? Or how can we even be better than we've ever had coaching or mentoring? See, one of the big pitfalls that I would just want to just point out is the people that are managers out there. What you have probably done is there's a piece of you that is part of the old manager that was coaching you or mentoring you. See, you're giving that piece of yourself to the people that you're coaching and mentoring. See, coaching provides that extra support and guidance that otherwise would be lacking. So let's jump into it right now and see what we have from the benefits of coaching. So let's start off with asking one question. What is the point of coaching, anyways? Why? Why coach? They don't need coaching. They're great people. They went to college, they got their 4 year degree, they may have gotten their master's or MBA. They're adults, they're living on their own, they're doing their own thing. They don't need coaching, do they? I need coaching. We all need coaching because we always feel like we're alone. And if we could get some coaching and guidance to help us with those blind spots or things that we really don't know, we have our colleagues and teams and coaches to really help us in that process. So if we have good colleagues and good managers, that's great. But are they coaching us? I mean, why can't I just bring on a new hire and then tell them to go do their tasks and it's all done? I don't need a manager, do I? Yes, we do, right? Well, you can do that, right? You can't just hire someone and not even train them, just say, here's a phone. I can remember a place that I worked at in transportation, and it was pretty much like that. Here's a phone, here's your desk, you're good. I never was in transportation before. Excuse me, I was a computer programmer. What's going on? So you could do that, but you'll be missing out, and so will they. See, by coaching, you get your employees to reach their maximum potential. Maybe they've never hit their maximum potential. Maybe they don't even know what that is. Maybe they are giving it to you right now, and to get them to the next level, they do need your help. See, so coaching should get them to go out and teach themselves these new things. How many of us do that? I can tell you for myself, I read somewhere between 30 and 40 books a year. That's how many books I'm consuming. I've already consumed 3 books just this month alone. So if I put that out, 3, 12, 24, 36, I'm already at a 36 run rate. And this is what I do for myself. No one's telling me to do that, not a coach. Coach isn't saying go read books. It's my self-internal motivation. See, it's important to note that coaching is more than just teaching. Coaching is a way of being. Who are you being? If you're being a certain way for yourself, you're already your coach. If your manager's being a certain way, then they're being a manager and a leader and a coach for you. Who are they being? Who are you being? When you teach someone a skill, you coach someone into a new mindset. See, coaching also gets you and your team engaged. engage with what's going on, with that engagement, which can be vital and could build camaraderie between the team members. See, this just leads to a better organization. Everyone is closer. It feels like they are all on the same page and invested in achieving the same goals. See, we all might have different goals, but we're all going towards that same common goal as an organization, as a community. See, if your team doesn't have a deep understanding, I mean, a true deep understanding of the why, the purpose of the organizational goals, then they'll just default to their personal goals. And then when you don't hit the numbers, you're wondering what happened, which will be different for everyone. Everyone has different personal goals. Everyone is in their position for a certain reason. See, if you tap into that and have the ears, the listening to hear what their purpose is, then everything else is pretty easy. Also, many times managers need to be coached on coaching. So ask your managers, when were they coached on coaching? When were they taught on how to coach? What is their leadership style? Do they know why? Do they know what the leadership styles are? What is their management style? And do they know why? Do they know which different types of management styles there are? In most cases, yes, they do, of course. Otherwise, they wouldn't be in that position, see? For the people that want to be managers, do you know what those are? What books have you read to get yourself ready to be that manager for as you're going on your journey, as you're climbing that mountain that has no top? Do you know which books you should be reading as a manager or one that wants to be a manager? See, all your managers should certainly undergo some kind of special training or coaching course. Does your company provide that in their learning management system? And be sure to allow and encourage feedback, especially when training managers, because managers are at a different height, a different way of being. So let's really dive into the different coaching styles, because different coaching styles, we all have them. I have to switch from my different coaching styles in order to deal with certain different avatars of people. See, when it comes to coaching, I like to compare them based off of the level of directness versus the level of empathy. See, no one can per se necessarily, no one type of coach can be considered the best coach, right? There's best coaches out there that I know of, the best coach in certain things, certain ways of being, but different people respond different to different types of different tasks. See, it will call different types, right? So every coach has a default way of being. This could be their defaulted way. It could be their created way, right? It could be a reported way, what's reporting, and they're acting and being on that reported state. But the best coaches can go in and out of each one to get the best results for that individual. So you can have a matrix or a combination of what coaching style one to really adapt at that time. And I have several that I go through, and every single situation I can go ahead and go to that on a moment's notice. It truly depends on your preferences, though, and what works on your employees as well. So let's go over each one so you each have a better idea of what they are. First, this is so important. First, you must have the compassionate coach. I'm compassionate. I don't know if you've gotten that yet, but I'm very compassionate. And I can call into that when I need to. See, this style works best by facilitating a comfortable environment, which works best for the basic introductions and trainings. See, because we're all learning something new. Also, this works well when a team member comes to you with a problem and needs to be heard. And when I can turn on the listening and hear what they have to say, I'm hearing their world as they see it. So this also is a great coaching type for the HR team as they're dealing with the in and outs of what they're dealing with the human capital. Next, there is the big picture coach. So this is the grandiose, this is the big picture, this is where we're going to be in 2030. And it works well by inspiring and showing the grand scheme to motivate the people onward and upward. See, this type is good for when there is some huge task to take on, because we can see what's going on in the future and say, look at that hill that we're going to take on. Are we prepared logistically to be able to handle that when we get to the hill? And when the team needs to know exactly what it is that they are facing at this moment. This is when we're norming and storming. We want to get to that performing, so let's get there. I would say this type best fits if you were training other managers, since they need to know the big picture as well of everything to effectively manage. Where are we going? What journey are we on? See, there's another type known as the firm and explicit coach. Being firm and explicit, that is a coaching style. So, and in this type, coaches by setting clear expectations and committing firm deadlines. That will be done when? We are going where, when? What do I have to have when? What are the steps and the processes that we have to go? Oh, you have me going here so that it opens up my world so I can see the bigger picture of everything that we're doing. Great. So when you align everybody on the bus, they're seeing what you're really up to. And they're not missing out on the road that in the journey that you're going to be driving on. It might be time to move people on that bus, right? Different seats. There's a good time for a lot of the day-to-day tasks, but not all tasks. See, some need grand motivation speech. There has to be those times that you need that speaker to be able to get out in front of people and speak truth, being authentic, so that people can really hear that and it lands on them. In order to be done, sometimes things have to just get done. And we need those leaders to be able to really bring that and bring everybody forward and motivate them. At least tell them where we're at so that everything's not siloed off. Finally, there is a logic and systems coach. So really thinking logically through the minutia of everything and having systems. See, I am a leader that creates processes to make any system run more effective and more efficient, not only to serve myself, but to serve the greater good. See, with the logics and system coach, this type of coach really works by showing the logical reasoning and establishes processes to ensure things are done and they're done correctly. See, they are best for coaching and on certain complex tasks and processes that have many moving pieces or materials that is often frustrating. Usually I use this as the 7 levels of success, that there are things that are a level 5 and level 6, even at a level 4, that most people don't deal with because they're only dealing with 1, 2, and 3 things. And they have to maybe do one thing to get to the second thing, and then the 1 and 2 have to be done, and you probably have some hiccups before you can get to the level 3. But sometimes we're talking about that critical thinking, that cognitive overload that some may have when you're dealing with 4, 5, and 6. And we're not even talking 7, right? So when you're dealing with that, how are you putting those things at ease before moving forward? So those are the 4 types of coaches and coaching styles. So, I just really want to let you know that on these coaching styles, do you even know which ones that you're using? Are you able to go back and grab a sword when you need that logics and system coach? Are you able to pull out another tool as you're going into another one? So understanding these 4 types of coaches is very important. It's important to remember that some like certain types of coaches no matter what the situation. So you kind of have to be in a dance with people on this as well, and understanding and listening to the person and who you're being really makes a difference. So as a coach, you need to make sure that you know your team well enough to be an effective coach. So let's talk about some general tips on coaches. So I also want to provide some quick tips for all of the coaches that are out there. And if you are coaching someone, this is really vital for you. So let's just hit these really quick. So I'd like to start by saying that you need to set large goals, BHAGs, big, hairy, audacious goal, or stretch goals, right? Don't just bring someone in, tell them their next task, and then send them on their way. That's terrible. That's a terrible coach. Really. I mean, honestly, terrible. So if you're doing that, I'm telling you, it's terrible. You want to make sure that they know the reasoning for their activities. See, set a time aside for them to actually be coached. It needs to be its own event. You can't just pop in, do some words of wisdom, and then I'm out. You can't do that. I mean, you might be doing that right now. You could be. I wouldn't. A big one is to listen. God gave us 2 ears, 1 mouth. Guess what? We should smell. We have 2 holes right here. Smell and listen more. We have eyes. Listen, see, smell more, talk less. I'm not doing that right now, so that's okay. There's times and places for everything. So make sure you are having an actual conversation with these people. This is one of the biggest differences between teaching and coaching. Big difference. Find enjoyment in coaching. Have fun with it and teaching, because you are not going to be able to coach well if you don't, or if you do not get any joy out of it. When I don't have joy, I'm out. Later, I'm out. That's my number one thing. If I'm not having fun and joy, and especially with the people I'm working with, then I'm out. I'm sorry. It takes more than being a successful business person to be a good coach. And it's not just because of your degree or that you've got 20 years in transportation. That's great and everything else, but what else are you bringing? It's deeper than that. And don't think it would be fair to not provide some tips to those being coached, right? So the people that are being coached, you got to give something. So for those out there that are looking to be coached or are in the position, I would ask a lot of questions. Make the most out of your training time. Find out from them what's important to them. Find out from them what is their learning style. Find out from them how do they get motivated. Find out from them what makes them joyful and celebratory. Find the motivation in yourself to accept the challenge to improve, and then have them find it inside themselves. See, if you have the choice, go with a coach that will actually that you'll get along with, someone that you can bond with, someone where you have common ground with. You should be enjoying your coaching sessions, which may be difficult if you don't get along with your coach. It will also be difficult if you yourself, you bring up all these negative things about yourself, about how you didn't do this, or you didn't do this, and you didn't do that, and you didn't do this. And if you're not doing it for yourself, you can't really get other people to do it. See, you've got to bring it. If you're bringing it, you can bring it for other people. You can coach other people. But if you're not, I'm not going to the gym and asking the 500-pound guy to coach me on how to work out. I'm not. This is not what I'm going to do. I'm looking for someone that actually knows the road that he or she has traveled on, and that's the person I want to help me on the same road that they've traveled on, because I want to be where they're at. See, know that change takes time. It takes a lot of time. And you're not going to see the results in 30 days or 60 days. It's going to take some time. I stopped drinking alcohol in April of 2021 just to be healthier, because we had a lot of good, exciting things going on. The company was growing exponentially. So I wanted to be prepared for all that. I got so much more than just being healthy. And you won't see it improve immediately. So as you're coaching, watch what happens over time. And lastly, know that it is ultimately your responsibility. So understanding that accountability, only one person can be accountable, and that's you. You are accountable. And you may be responsible. So the people around you may be those accountability partners for your responsibility. They're being responsible for your accountability, right? And you need that to in order to change and succeed. So as we move forward, we're going to come to a conclusion here and just take a look. Good day, Jim. Checking in from Zems. Hey, good to see you, Sonny. Jake, would love a couple of book recommendations. Measure What Matters by John Doerr. That's a great one. Brooks, The Second Mountain. That's another good one. That's all I got for you right now. Two good ones. Good ones to read and reread also. Hope that helps, Jake. Good to see you. What skill do you frequently coach others on? Listening. Coach on listening. And I coach on being also. So coach on listening, coach on being. Who are you being? I coach on internal talk. What are you saying to yourself? Right? Because you're right. You're 100% right. Whatever you're telling yourself, you're right. And it'll always be that way. And you can change it at any moment that you want to. I must confess, with this session, exclamation, exclamation, most managers and HR need to set up. Yeah, well, listen, share this. If you like this information, share it with someone. Share it with someone that needs to hear this from a third-party approach. See, that third-party acknowledgement is so important. That's why I always say like and comment and share. And post this. Post this on your LinkedIn profile. It's huge. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Divine. Thank you for the knowledge. Absolutely. So in conclusion, know that if you are coaching, you need to adjust to become the best coach given any circumstance. I can get into any circumstance and be there with the people and be a stand for them. Second, get to know your team so you know what kind of coaching they all respond to, right? 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. There's another good one by Stephen R. Covey. Another one, it's coming to me, Primal Leadership. That will go over your leadership styles. Primal Leadership. I was going over that class at Northwestern, and just by my introduction talk, I pretty much covered primal leadership, on me being a servant leader and exercising leadership as my natural self-expression. Those type of things really changed the dynamic between myself and the teacher. The teacher's like, hey, what are you doing for lunch today? I'm like, going with my group. He's like, let's do lunch together. So we had lunch together, and it was a great class. I ended up writing another program for that, and it worked out pretty good. So also, do some self-reflection. Look in the mirror to see what type of coach you are being. Give each individual your attention and provide feedback each and every time. Always acknowledge your people as much as possible. Your objective is for your mentee to take something away from those coaching sessions. I call it having a little bit of me on their shoulder. Have a little bit of you on their shoulder. And they'll excel in their roles each and every time. Listen, God bless. Have a great week. Loving you always. Jim Becker, out. Have a good one. Bye-bye.